those that took excuses this morning, we're just going to run through again. So again, Artsflame NG were a group that is essentially where, at the core of our vision is to transform Africa into the global art hub, such that if you think of art anywhere in the world, you think of Africa, not other nations of the world. And I mean, by Africa, we mean Nigeria in extension to the whole of Africa. So we're all a part of this quote unquote revival of the African art narrative, or of what we have in Africa, because again, what we have in Africa is one of the things we're very rich in Africa is the human capital. We're very talented people, we're very resourceful people, we're very creative people. So we're trying to essentially structure this creativity to bring the world to Africa, and that's one of the reasons why we have this Artsflame Arts Academy. And you guys are here for the culture session. Again, I need to thank you all for joining this session. I think it's going to be a great journey for everyone. That said, this morning we looked at the principles of art, the things that work behind the scenes for the things that people see in art. And I think one of the first things we mentioned was the fact that art is not just for aesthetics. It's a solution thing. It's a thing that sometimes is to solve emotional problems, or sometimes it's to solve societal problems and all of that. And I mean, that's about it. So we talked also about the fact that there are certain principles that you need to understand in order to be able to better create and, better help your art connect with the people that love your art, or that are your audience. And I mean, that's as much as it is. And then this night we'll be talking about the forms of art, and then I'm going to hand over to Joseph to take you on. I hope you have a lovely session this night. Joseph, over to you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Okay, so I'll be presenting my screen now. Do you want to have your screen so I present? So can anyone hear me? Let me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, is something going on? I can't. Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, I don't know why it's not coming, but I'm seeing it from my own end here.
Okay.
So I guess, Mr. Amy, you have to help us share from your side. This, I don't know. Who can be complicated.
Okay, so we can
good evening once again.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, so I'll be taking us through forms of art this night. So, the word art, I'm sure that every one of us know what art means. One way or the other, with art one place or the other. Because I know for me, I know that when art comes to my mind, especially when I was little, the word, all these museums, painting, pictures, everything comes to my head, or people drawing, that was comes to our head. And I mean, I'm not a big fan of art like that, but sometimes when you think of art, intellectual people are people who like art for everyone that wants to experience it. We experience art in different ways, just like the songs we sing. There's art in it. In the movies we watch, the poems we recite, there's art in it. And
Please, can you be more audible?
Oh my God. Okay. Can you hear me clearly now?
No.
How about now?
I can barely hear you. Like I'm straining, really straining to hear you. Your voice is really low.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Say something.
It's not audible enough.
How about now?
Okay.
Yes,
I think it's better.
Okay, thank you very much. Please, in case if you are not hearing me, just let me know. Okay, so far I said when it comes to art, a lot of things come to our mind. Sometimes we'll be like, is it painting? Is it drawing? Is it the museum? Especially when we're little, when we don't even know what art really means, like that. And we can experience art in various ways. In the songs we sing, the poems we recite, movies we watch, the art diversifies in various ways. And we can also define art in various ways. So can anyone hear me? Can you still hear me?
I can hear
Please
you.
go on, we can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
So for example now, if we have an artwork right now, and we ask 3 people to look at that artwork, you will agree with me that those 3 different people will see that art differently, and they will react to it emotionally differently. One person can say it is good, one person can say it is bad, person can be I don't know. So when it comes to art, everyone has their different ways of expressing it. So in my little way, I would say art is just produced when our imagination or creativities are used to create something that can be directly experienced through our senses. And we have various forms of art. We have the paintings, we have the sculpture, we have the architecture, we have literature, music, cinema, and theater. And I'm sure if we go deep study, we will still see many more forms of art. So number 1, the painting. Painting, generally everybody who knows what painting is. Even a 2-year-old child who knows that, oh, I want to paint, mommy, I want to paint. So painting generally is just the application of paint in a 2-dimensional surface, rather. So you can either use your brush like to paint, or you have your pencils, your crayons to paint. And it's one of the most common and even one of the ancient forms of art we have in time past. So literally, when it comes to painting, it can be applied in various ways. You can either use your brush, you can use your finger, your spray can, sponges. It is, like I said, when I was defining what art is, I said art is produced when imagination or creativity are used to create something. It's just when you're trying to use your imaginations now and your creativity to create something. So you can use various forms. In fact, you may decide to say, oh, I'm not using my hand, I want to use my leg. Or you can be like, oh, I want to use feathers. So it's just like from the pictures you are seeing on your screen, you will see even the center picture, you see it's flower. They're using to make the imprint on the two-dimensional surface. And in the first picture there, you can see them using brush to form different shape and colors. And the third picture, that's them using a spray can to create. So that's that on painting. The next one here we have is sculpture. Sculpture is another ancient visual form of art that's been in historic times. If we go to the museum, you will see a lot of sculpture. And Artsflame, for instance, last year one of our exhibition we did last year, we target ancients. We went into ancient histories. So there we were able to see as during the exhibition different sculptures in time past there. So sculptures are just three-dimensional visual images using traditional materials such as clay, stone, ceramic, metals, and wood. This process, the process of sculpture comes in different forms. It can either be by carving, that's you using your wood, you're carving the wood, or assembling or casting with clay, or you're modeling. So, and if we go to the next slide now, we'll see different forms of sculptures that's been done. Okay, so in one of the pictures there, you will see you see one that was wooden carved there. From what there we could say they're trying to create like a lion shape. Then the first diagram here, we will see that it's trying to create it's molded like it's being casted and assembled together. So there are other forms of art, even especially more than painting. So sculpture, sometimes it represents religious and traditional connections to people. So when some people see it, they'll be like, oh, this is Oromila of Ile-Ife, this is Mayegun of Egbaland. So these are just like when you go to museums and when you see them, even when we've not seen these people, we'll be like, okay, this is what they're trying to depict this place, and there it tells us the story of what we need to know. So the next one here, we have another form of art here is architecture. Architectures are cultural symbols that are not only a location, such as city or an area. Architecture has obvious strong connections with art. It's not only practiced in construction or other structures. I'm sure that a lot of us will be thinking, oh, are we saying architectural like architects? No. Yes, it's still relating because it comes with art. Drawing lines together, drawing a lot of shapes together to create something. It's at the end of the day, when you now sit in the three-dimensional view, it'll be like, wow. Just like if you look at the next slide, you see pictures of historic of buildings like skyscrapers and everything. If you even go and ask for the construction designs, like what is it, you will see that it is lines and lines that were joined together to bring out the architectural view of those structures. So music too. Music is created when there is an organization of sounds and vibration. When we listen to music too, we react to music differently. There are some music when we listen to them, we feel sad. There are some music that, when love is in motion, we play them. There are some music we use to gyrate ourselves. So when it comes to music, music is art. It's another form of art. Elements of musical composition includes harmony, it includes timbre, it includes melody and rhythm. So, music is just like in the early instruments that were made from variety natural instruments. With why today a vast selection of ready-made instruments are available for musicians to choose, are classified into groups. We have strings, we have percussions, and we have wind. So for music, I said is another form of art. If you've seen a situation whereby they are creating a song or creating a music, if you would say, you will see them, they'll be like, yeah, you give us the beats, give me popo, you give me 222. Like by the time they join those beats together, then they make a sound out of it, then they combine it to make a music. That's the word of art. That's why art is so beautiful. In fact, art is beautiful to the extent that we cannot even say it all. Sometimes the same music we listen to, if another person should start analyzing that music for us, we'll be like, oh, is it the same music I've been listening to for the past 5 years? So art is I don't even know the word. Should I say eccentric? I don't even know the English to quantify for that. So cinema, which is another form of art, is a fairly recent form of art. It just came into existence. From here we can say that cinema took its first form of kinescope in 1893, which was a conception that enabled one person to see motion of picture at a time. So even cinema and theater, I would want to say they are kind of interwoven. They are entering one another. So instead of attributing the development of cinema to one investor, many great minds contributed to the entrance of cinema into people's life, as a case of as it is the case with many great inventions and discovery of our time. So another form of art there we have is literature. Literature is derived from the Latin word letters, which refers to the written words in particular. Literature comes in various ways. We have the poetry, the articles, the novels, the play, the folk tales, and many, many more. And it's often divided into fiction and non-fiction. When we were younger in secondary school, we did literature in school, and we read different types of literature in school. While reading those literature, whether it is poem or novels or everything, right there we can connect with the actor's mind and get the visual experience of what, or should I say, depict the visual experience of what the author is trying to tell us there. I know even for the case of poem, we just read the poem from the book, then we put them into our art, then we demonstrate them, then people can get the visual understanding of what it means, and then they connect with us through our emotions. So art is very, very, very versatile in the sense that you can always showcase art at any given time. You can just sit down without doing anything and just like the birds are flying, eagles are hawking. Before you know, you just create a reading from it, and people will start to get meanings to it. They start to explain what it means. So another form of art here we have is theater, and theater is one common form of art that we know. From the So from here, we could say that theater is a performance art. Yes, it's a performance art, which includes visual element that has been produced, which has been used for entertainment purpose over thousands of years. So all these theater arts, stage display, all those coming to perform, all those performance that we see on stage and everything, we refer them to as theater. Like even all these movies we watch, most of them are created in the theater, and these are just like, it's like you said, it's performance art. So this is them doing a lot of performance, bringing them together to create an art for us. So when you watch it, you can easily understand. Oh, even without hearing the sound, sometimes I'm sure most of us sometimes we watch Indian movies, we watch Korean movies, we watch all these things. It's not for the fact that we understood their language. Sometimes ordinarily looking at it, you just be looking, for one, our helper told me doesn't even understand English, but I was seeing him sitting down with Chinese movie. I was like, guy, do you understand what they are saying? Like, I'm just watching. Like, okay, it's just the action you're getting through the demonstration, the performance. You are getting the storyline behind it. Sometimes a movie of 2 hours of those kind of Chinese movie, I can watch it in 30 minutes, but I will explain what really happened in that movie for you because you've connected with the movie. And sometimes, when you watch a movie like that, you can even tell what is happening at the end of those movies without reaching the end because you've connected with them and you could tell the story through the act of which is being performed. Are we there? Can anyone still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Okay, so art as even outside of these forms of art we've mentioned so far, ordinary our dressing is art itself. If you notice in time past now, people will start they wear Ankara, they wear sneakers on it. Some will even wear white shirts, wear Ankara trouser. Everything is just, we're trying to bring out the art in everything we do, but not until we know what we are doing, then we won't be able to say, oh, this is art I'm doing. Sometimes when we cook too, you be like, I want my food to be beautiful. We like put corn beans, put the green pea, put everything. Those are art we are doing. Even for ladies too, the your hairdo that you do too is another form of art too, and many more, many more. You see our celebrities, even their fashion, so you see a lot of creativity they bring out in everything they do. You see a lot of things. So art is sometimes I don't know if you follow this lady Tiana, I've forgotten her full name. Sometimes you should just depict this art and be like, wow. So they can really do this. You see sometimes they use tire and to create dress, be like, wow. So art is very, very, very wild. Like it's beside us, it's with us. Only for us to just see what we are doing right now and you depict whatever it is. Even just presentation in classes too sometimes too is another form of art which is is an explanation for another day. So in summary, art has been around since the early days of humanity and has changed considerably over the centuries. Yeah, that's very true. The way art was being practiced 20, 30, 50 years ago is not the way it is being practiced right now. Like even the things we do in terms of practicing art or doing art is different from how we do it right now because technology has advanced. A lot of things have advanced. Now you see sometimes you don't even have to carry your biro or your pen to start drawing on papers and everything. Ordinarily with your system, your laptop, your devices, you start doing your design on it. You start creating what you need to create. So as technology has gone way more than we can imagine it. Even for the music form too, before they were using is it I've forgotten the name, this Coco, like all this talking drum. But now a lot of instrument has come. You start hearing robotic this, electric this on that, you know. So the trend of creativity expressed in the form of theater, music, painting, sculpture, architecture, and many more has continued to weave its way across the world and into the cracks of our imagination through the years. Art continues to bring colors and life into every changing world in a way that only stimulates intellectual responses, but which also touches our heart. Yes, yes. You know, one day I thought of it and I was like, this industry of art itself, how do these people sit down and just come with it, then come up with these fantastic ideas and create this? Then I just look at it, I said, these ideas don't just come like bump into their head. It's just they sit down at the table with their drawing pen, they draw one dot to another, and then to depict the final picture of what they're trying to get. It's just like what you want to get. And you see, and one thing we've noticed in this part of the country is art is not really appreciated as it should be, and we appreciate Artsflame for this opportunity, for trying to make sure that art is being revived in Africa as a whole. So thank you very much. Mr. Yemi, are you there?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. So I think you'll be taking over from here. Or does anyone have anything to say, contribution, questions?
Thank you, Joseph. I think this has been an amazing start of the evening. So I just wanted to add generally for all of us that you see, one of the reasons why I think that the first day of all of this, tomorrow we start going into more detailed things, more segmented things. These are all just basic and general, but they give us an awareness of what the industry is like, and it also gives us like a rundown of the history of our industry. And for some of us who are trying to find their feet in art, it also gives you an idea of, oh, so there is something like this. I think that is the best place for me to be. So this gives us that, and it helps us to essentially know the waters in which we swim. That's the whole point of going through a lesson of the forms of art. And one thing that Joseph mentioned that I also want to reiterate is the fact that as long as there can be an imagination, there can be creation. As long as you can think it, you can make it. So I don't know if anyone has ever noticed that the shape of an airplane is exactly the same shape of a dolphin. I don't know if anyone has ever noticed here. The whole plane, even when you're sitting inside it, it's not very obvious, but when you go outside and you're looking at it from afar, this thing looks exactly like a dolphin. There's this very cool that used to reign in the 80s. They call it Beetle, Volkswagen. The Volkswagen is designed to look like a beetle. There is an animal like a moth that is called the beetle. Again, these are all things that were done. I mean, there are solutions, but they had to be acted out. If you can imagine it, as long as you can imagine it, you can create it. And so the point now comes to, okay, where does my imagination lie? For some of us, our imagination is in words. You think in words. For some of us, we think in pictures. For some of us, we think in motion. For some of us, we think in, all of that. That now puts you in a specific niche of art. So, for example, someone who thinks in words will probably function better as a poet. A poetry, like Joseph said. I think there's literature. Yes, literature would probably function better in literature because you think in words. That's your like your safe water. All fish swim in water, but there are some kinds of fish that swim in salty water. There are some kinds of fish that swim in the ocean. There are some kinds of fish that swim in the sea. There are some kind of fish that swim even in fresh water. So it depends. Fine, everything is water, but you can't pick a catfish and take it into the ocean, even though it is still water. That catfish would die. In the same way, for some of us, we've been struggling with our art because you don't seem to find your feet where you are. You know that, this art part is the thing for me, but it doesn't look like what you're currently doing is what is for you. Let me give a personal example, and this is not to castigate anyone or to say to like say whatever anyone is doing. So long ago I used to draw portraits and all of that. Give me a picture, do pointillism. I do excellently well. After some time, I mean it was great for me. I loved it when I started. After some time, I found that I just wasn't. I mean, it was making a lot of money. A lot of people are bringing pictures. You do birthday. We generally in art we call it commissions. You get a lot of commissions. Do all of that. After some time, I found that I wasn't deriving the satisfaction, the personal satisfaction of creating. You can create and you feel good about what you create. I wasn't getting that good feeling about what I was making. So I stopped taking commissions. It really, really told on me financially, but I stopped because it just wasn't it for me. And again, like someone said to us a long time ago, there are urgent things and there are important things. Urgent things are the things that, we need to survive, but they don't really add anything to your journey in life. In the same way, taking commissions, they might be urgent, but they might not really add up to your legacy in art. So the reason why we had to go through this is so we know where our own safe water is, where your own niche is. I think that should make sense. So I'm going to move to right now. Sally, can you move? I'm trying to move to something. Thank you. So, Stanley, please, can you mute? Thank you. So, find your feet. I think this is more of a reflective session before we start going into the various sessions tomorrow, because this foundation of today will help us tomorrow and the day after, and I believe it will help our journey in art. Did you know that cinema was also a form of art before now? That's quite interesting. In fact, I didn't know that before now. So that said, do we have questions before we go for our breakout session? Questions? Okay, so if there are no questions, just like in the morning, we're going to do a breakout session now. Hold on a minute. Good. We're going to go for a breakout session. Now, what we're to discuss, I'll read to us. In your opinion, okay, let me put it in the chat box. But it says, in your opinion, what form of art would you recommend to solve a rampant suicidal problem in the society? So, in Nigeria, let's assume that the Nigerian government came to you as artists who have gone through this culture arts training and says, okay, we had the suicidal rate, the rate of suicide in Nigeria is on the leash, and we want an artistic solution to this thing. So I want us to, when we go for the breakout sessions, discuss what form of art would you recommend as the best way to go about solving a rampant suicidal problem in the society. Again, that's bringing us into problem solving as artists, because our art is not just to hang on wall, it's to solve a problem. It's not just to do graffiti. No, it's to solve a problem. So we're going to do a breakout session. This time we'll do 15 minutes. So, and I hope that you guys enjoy your session. So, we're breaking out in about a few minutes. Yeah. So we're 17 here right now. Oh, Jesus, even the needs.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Hi. Good evening. Good evening. So,
Can you guys hear me?
yeah, we can hear you. Yes, we can. Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so we're doing one timer. We're doing 15.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear?
We can.
Yeah, you were saying something and then it went off.
Oh, yeah. So we're doing the breakout rooms. Now, you heard the question, yeah?
Yes,
Yes.
I did get the question.
Is it individually?
Okay, perfect. The breakout rooms are open in 1, 2, 3. Sorry, so the network was just playing out. Starting it now.
So everybody's in breakout room. It's okay. So this is a matter of this name with no price 1K with me. You know what fuel to is saying now? 600 per liter, 617 per liter. We don't beg them at filling station. They will just send us out and upsell for us. The sense I've up to this, I charge from for 2K. I can show you my chat with the person right now.
I'm not. She's very close now.
It's like everything going to play. Oh, the time is always catching us at the wrong time.
We are back here. We are back here. We are here with
Fun.
Okay. Conversation was good.
Yeah. Okay, first, how was our room?
Beautiful.
Very,
Yeah, very good.
I didn't get to finish.
Very interesting and engaging.
Interesting. Okay, so before each group will come and talk about what it talked about, I want to try and mute everyone so that you can all hear me. Sorry. Uh-oh. Yeah. So, much more than, you guys were all present, and I think you had enough time to talk about who would go first and who would maybe do like a second, and we'll do that here. But much more than that, see how this helps you. See how this helps your psyche. See how it helps your psychology as to the approach with which you do your art. Now you start thinking of art as a better detailed career field rather than just something I do to have fun. I mean, I have fun doing it, but it's detailed. It's a solution. It's something I can consult to the government for, because as it is right now, let's assume it was Lagos State government that came to ask you for this solution. Oh, and I'm glad you guys enjoyed your session. I saw that some of you were even networking, which is good to a safe extent. Okay, so group one. Who's going for group one? Okay. Who was in group one?
I was.
Who's this? Okay. Joseph, do you want to go for group one?
Okay. All right. I think, well, okay, no problem.
Or are you the one that is supposed to go for group one?
I'm not the one actually, but I just stated that I was in group one. I
think.
think.
Okay. Who is?
We have Miriam and who else again? Since Mwafo.
Victor.
Miriam.
Oh, okay. It looks like Temidayo too is there.
About Joseph can go for at least what it's supposed to discuss.
Okay, so who's going for group one?
All right, let me go.
All right.
All right. Good evening. So I shared my idea in one, and what I shared as per the kind of art that one can use to solve problems in the society is graffiti. So graffiti is like a Protestant kind of art that is done on a large, area of like large wall surface. So, for example, now let's talk about social media as causing mental issues of anxiety, depression amongst youth. So one can just go ahead and create an art now that just getting lost amidst social media, even the new one, just trade to Instagram, from Instagram to WhatsApp to Facebook to Twitter and stuff like that. That kind of thing. Now you get lost, from post to post, reel to reel, trade to trade and stuff like that. Before you know it, you have wasted like almost the whole day, not being productive. And that way, since we see Nigeria as a place where it is quite difficult, like to get jobs, one can just look inward and just start something It's about a matter of sitting down and thinking. So basically, once one can portray this in, let's say, in strategic areas in the street, then I believe that way people can get to see and also get to understand what is really like dealing with the youth of nowadays. And another one can be dance, contemporary dance or ballet. I don't know if anyone has seen Step Up or Step Up Revolution. So there was a time, I don't know, maybe part 1 or part 2. There was a time that the owner of a company wanted to like wipe, wanted to like, let's say, he wanted to build like a new settlement in his company. So he wanted to like wipe off or demolish a part of that, I don't know, part of that city. So in order for these people now to like reach out to them, that this is our city, this is our home. We cannot let you, destroy our home. So they came up with about let's say 30 to 50 of them, all wearing coats and hats, black coats, white shirts, white, and they just came up with a choreography trying to pass this message across. That at the end there was a sculpture guy that welded all this excavator that they used to clear roads and clear building. So he used it to like form a sculpture, and that sculpture there was a note that we're not selling or something like that. We cannot be sold or something like that. So that way they have passed the message across to the owner of that company. They are not willing to be sold. That no matter how much is willing to give to them to demolish their home and sell out their home or buy their home, they are not willing to sell. Because that's all I have to say. So I'll just pass the mic to the next person. I'll go to just talk about what he has. Thank you.
Yeah, please go on.
Okay.
I should go on.
I mean, the next person you're passing to.
I think we have to.
Okay. I think is it Victor?
Can I
Okay,
go, Abby?
Yes,
I'm from.
Okay, is it Miriam?
Yes, Miriam.
Yes.
Go on.
Please go on.
So on our group, I suggested poetry and spoken word. There is this power that poetry and spoken word has in connecting with people. Spoken word, for instance, the punchy punchlines, it has a way of getting into the core of people and awakening something in them. If you go on Instagram, all these posts that usually have music underneath, when one reads it, it has a way of really uplifting one's mood and then taking one from being plunged from the sea of depression. And that is what I can suggest. Spoken word and poetry. That is it.
Amazing. Is that all for group 1?
Yeah.
Is Temida also going for group 1?
What I also use for group 1 is using art to generate revenue. Like if you can find there are art exhibition centers that are just basically privately owned, and there is not enough enough resources to make it really global in Africa. So I don't know if it's possible to get government to invest into art as a form of tourism. Yes, so that the can be maybe much more designed and better, so that it can also have a sort of revenue for the government and also provide jobs and income for artists. So looking into art as a sort of tourism, like building exhibition stores that are much more classic, much more world class, and also what I just suggested. So that's everything.
Thank you for group 1. So, it doesn't sound to me like so much of a group discussion. It sounded like a lot of personal opinions, and you didn't seem to find common ground. Someone wanted graffiti, someone wanted poetry, someone wanted like art sales. And I mean, they're all good ideas on their own, but again, that's the point of collaboration. That's the point of coming together in a group to try and find common ground in order to see the bigger picture, you know. I mean, makes sense, very laudable ideas, novel, but there is power in collaborating rather. So, guys, find the common ground. Get group two.
Hey, so
Hey, hello.
Hi, Olukunle.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Hope you can
You're
hear me
going for
very
group
well.
two?
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. Actually, in my group, we discuss a lot very well, but generally, because we are in different field of study like that, in different profession, people from music, photography, painting, and myself in sculpture. Yeah. Hey, we are looking at the impact of art, how art can solve the problems of the society. We try to depict not much a sculpture actually, because generally how art can solve problems like all this public sculpture. I can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Okay. If you have to talk about this all this public sculpture, we talk majorly okay. Let me just go pick a state, Lagos in Lagos State now. We have different public sculpture there, like Fela, Fela Kuti. A lot of people who don't know Fela. These are the ways art meets people's brain, contribute positively to community and problem. Because, like myself, I don't know Fela physically, but me seeing this person, nobody will stand out with just aside. We know definitely that this Fela. And anybody that sets eyes properly on the sculpture, we definitely remember the impact of Fela in the community. No matter how you set your eyes on sculpture, immediately you try to flash back the story you've heard about Fela, how he tried to change things, he tried to express his feelings through music. He's a musician. Through music, how he tried to correct the government, how the government punished him. Likewise, if you check Ekpe too, you can see big fishing around the Ekpe side. There's a junction around the Ekpe where there's big fish there. The fish is trying to tell a story. Yes, it's telling a story of maybe a way they are majorly known for their fish, maybe and get different fish there. I don't know. And also, there's a household of Awolowo in around Lagos by and Ojota too. I don't really know specifically. Around Ojota, Awolowo statue is there. Awolowo, everybody knows Awolowo very well, but nobody, the majority don't haven't seen him physically. But once we see the sculpture, the artwork there, we know what our lower loves. And likewise, we talk about music too. Music has a great impact. Music is form of art too. Has a great impact because we hear music for relaxation. Maybe we're having for relaxation, we listen to music. Maybe we're having emotional depress or any a, an emotional problem. Maybe we have any emotional issue ourselves, or maybe you have your girlfriend play music solemnly, and art has meet a lot. There are a lot of ways you can art has contribute, and the only way a group we suggest music, photography too, photography to also make a good impact because it's for record. We took a picture now. You just to keep the record of the present or the past event. That's what photo did for us. Photography has done a great in the community because you can't just basically pick one like okay this is the major area that can solve the problem. Generally, a art solve all of them had actually solved the problem of the community, and also painting too. Painting also serves as aesthetic purpose, not only aesthetic though. I think Priceless want to talk. Okay, let me continue. A painting too serves as aesthetic and it's also as historical purpose too. But majorly, we try to shape it very well. Painting is not as public as sculpture because most of the painting are done on canvas, or apart from those ones that are done on under the bridge and so like that, or along the roadside. But majorly, if you want to enjoy painting very well.
Sorry, Okulukule. So what I need is not. I mean, I understand that there are different ways to approach the problem, but I need what the group agreed on. What you all said, oh, or it looked like the group was agreeing on going this way, and why you guys chose to go that way, and why you think it will solve the problem. You know, I mean, there are a million and one ways to solve societal problems with art, but I need what your group talked about and why you talked about that route.
Actually, sir, can I say something?
Are you from too?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Okay, so basically what myself and Khadija agreed on was that if in a situation where you have, let's say, suicidal attempts like rampant in a community or in the society, we were saying that's before Olukune actually said something. We agreed that it would either be music or spoken word poetry because there's power in words and there's a certain emotion that words can evoke. Yes, sculpture can actually do a lot, but I feel like sculpture will only relate to somebody who understands it, right? Someone who can read sculptures and understand the message whoever did it is trying to pass. But with words are something that you can actually relate with regardless of your background or your understanding of art, right? Because it's simple and it's something that we all use in our everyday life. So using words is actually a better way of communicating a message or fixing an issue in society. So that was why myself and Kajita, we are agreeing on either music or spoken word poetry, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry. In addition to that, we said that government could even incorporate it into jingles, like they could play the spoken word or music on radio, on television, and then when the artists actually use strong words that evokes emotion, then it could help change the situation. Someone could just be listening to it and then it touched this person and then, give the person hope and resilience. That was what we discussed.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, Priceless. Thank you, Khadija. Thank you, Olukule. So it seems like group 2 seems better cohesive. Yeah, cohesive. I do not think that Olukule agreed totally with both of the ladies. I think you ladies, you are intimidating the guys in your group. We need to sanction you guys. Olukule, not to worry. The guys will soon come. All right, group 3.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay. Okay, my name is John, and I and my colleagues, Shola and Adenike, I think, if I got the pronunciations right, we looked at the question and this is what we came up with. So we said if we were going to solve a problem for a community, we wouldn't want to use just one medium of art. We would like to combine at least 3 art forms. We would like to combine theater, painting, and music. So if we put up a performance, in that performance, people would be able to hear lines, hear the actions happen, hear words from the actions that are happening. People were able to see the actions that are happening too. And in that theater hall, we could have paintings that explain the situation we're trying to promote or the situation we're trying to address. And we could also have music that sort of enhances the performance, that tells us what is going on, how gives us information about what we want to address. So we chose theater, music, and paintings as the art forms we would use if we had any case of solving community problems. Thank you.
Thank you, Wa, for you said John, but I'm just reading what I saw on the screen. So that sounds like a very diplomatic way, of tackling the problem. It sounds like, oh, okay, I picked A's choice, B's choice, C's choice. Let's put it together and what the group talks about. But that's very.
Sir. Sorry, sir.
Is Adenike going to say something?
Yes. So it's not about it's not A or B or 3 like our choice, no. But when we look at theaters very well, according to the theaters that have been seen or experienced, when they want to act, they come up with according to what we learned tonight and what I picked too. Some of theaters come with drums, they will dance, they will act, and they will be, putting the drum to it just to give us what we want to know. So we just come up of, okay, fine, theater, it came with music, and also that's the reason why we need to combine both of it together. Like, okay, we go for theater, music, and acting, because all these things we can find it inside the theater. So I think you are going to get, like, you are getting my point. So it's not that maybe we are not in one accord or we not come up with one, but we just decide like, okay, theater, we can find out music inside this and the form of art too. So thank you, sir, because I don't.
Thank you, Adenike. Thank you, Wafo. I think that makes sense actually. Because in one form of art, you can express other forms of art. I think that's what you guys are trying to draw at. So you're saying we're combining this, and this, but it's not like we're picking them separately. We're combining them into one compact way to solve a problem. I mean, we gradually, you see, this is still foundational. We can go deeper into problem-solving skills as creatives, but this is at the very basic level. To think that what you do is just to please people, that's shallow thinking. That's the shallowest of thinking, and that kind of thinking cannot move the world. We have to realize that what we do is solving problems, and we can solve the world's problems through creativity. Group 4. Group 4.
Hi, so
Zohira.
Hi, yeah. So I think Foyi is going to be talking for Group 4. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening. So in Group 4, we agreed on painting and literature. And for painting, we narrowed it down to abstract painting because for abstract painting, it doesn't reflect what is on the mind of the artist at the time the piece is being created. That's one. So you as someone who's viewing an abstract art and like a piece of an abstract art can just like decode lots of meanings from that piece. Like you as a person, you are decoding different meanings, and also to relate that to a society where suicide is rampant, in a piece of abstract painting, because there are lots of possibilities of meanings that you can come up with. Like, okay, you are viewing it today and you're like, oh, these things, these shapes, they could reflect longevity. And then tomorrow you are saying, oh, these shapes could reflect this and this and that. So because of like, because what's the word? Because it provides that wide range of possibilities, it could be related to people who are prone to suicide. Like, one of the reasons for wanting to commit suicide is that you feel like there is nothing else for you. But as it is in an abstract painting where there are lots of possibilities of things that you can't see, there is also like many possibilities of things you can achieve if you continue to live. And also with painting is connected with art therapy, where it's a kind of thing, it's a kind of therapy used for people battling with mental illness. That's true. And also, oh my God, I just forgot what I was going to say. Okay, and also with abstract art, people are not limited to things to create. People are not constrained by people are not constrained. Oh, okay, they're not constrained by sorry, they're not what's it called now? They're not bound to strive for perfection. Yeah, so they can just like dip their brush in paint and just like wipe it on a canvas or any surface to create and to express themselves. So with abstract art, expressionism is easier. So that's it. Then for literature, we talked about storytelling, where someone telling you a short story, someone like an oral performance of a short story could, settle you and just calm you down in some sort of way. And also included in literature too, we discussed writing, which could also like involve journaling. For instance, writing about things that you've gone through and all of that in your diary. A vivid example of that in the real world is Anne Frank's diary. So, I mean, when you like write stuff down in your journal or your diary, it's a form of release. Yes, writing is a form of release. And also in literature, we talked about poetry. Poetry, according to Wordsworth, a piece written like through emotion, like releasing tranquility. I can't get like I don't think that definition is totally correct, but yeah, it's partly correct, 70%. So through poetry, yeah, people who are prone to suicide can it can be lessened in a society. Suicide can be lessened in that kind of society where people can express themselves through poetry, or they get to listen to poetry that resonates with what they are going through. That's our submission. Thank you.
So I have one question for Group 4. Who made the decision that Foyin should be the one that will present?
Tohira did.
No, we all agreed together. We confused.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Okay.
You guys are smart asses. You guys are just went to play smart. Amazing presentation, Foyin. So the point is, in a little while, see how you're already thinking for a state. And you see, the thing is this: when you can solve people's problems, you become an asset that people look for. They just must look for you, and that's the point, or that's the perspective with which I want us to approach our art. And I mean, I think we've all had amazing presentations this night. Tomorrow will be delving into more up-to-date art realities of the world, all of that. And then the next day we'll be talking about the business of art, because and that's another perspective, because we found that a lot of creatives do creativity for the pleasure of creating, not they don't see it as a business, and that affects the perception. We'll delve into all that from tomorrow. Again, tomorrow the AM session is at 7 a.m. and then the PM session is at 7 p.m. We are going to have a project. From what we sent to us this night, the only thing that would differ is that the groupings will change. So what we sent to us this night, we'll have to work on it. Maybe if you don't understand it properly, we'll probably send an email this night. If you don't understand it properly, you can ask questions tomorrow morning. But we're going to have a project, and then that project becomes like what would you call it? Like a mock-up project for you. You can say, oh, I solved some people's problems with my art, or this was my contribution to this, and all of that. And that's about it. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Again, please take note that okay, we'll share more details tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you, Priceless, Khadija, Toirat, Odwayo, Adenike, Ubeida, Dima, Temidayo, Miriam, Foyi, Joseph, Nwafo, Daryl. I'm thanking myself, Yemi.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
much. This was wonderful.
Thank you. Rest well. See you tomorrow. Daniel.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Priceless.
Bye-bye.